Hi, thanks for joining me. It's Megan from Manifesting Me. I'm a manifesting consultant. I have a book that I wrote called The Pocket Guide to Manifesting, which you can find on Amazon.com and in select bookstores. There's more details on that in the description box of the video. I also do custom one-on-one sessions. And hey, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you to all of you who do that. It helps other people find it. Today I want to talk about what happens when we manifest something and there's unintended side effects that come along with it. Or in other words, how do we manifest better? How do we get what we're really after when we're manifesting? So this was a question that was posed to me last week, and I asked the person who had the question, I said, okay, well, give me an example just so I've got something to work with. So they happen to be working a short-term contract with a company they really, really like, and they would love for it to turn into a long-term contract. For them, it's a dream job, it's a dream company, it's like a dream come true in a lot of different ways, but they're only going to be there a short amount of time. And so the wish was, okay, well, I really would like this to turn into something longer term. And so they went about manifesting, and they could really feel that the job was theirs, that they were going to get asked to stay on long term, and that it was going to turn into something much more significant than what they had initially been brought on for. So guess what happened? Well, they got what they manifested, and the company said, yeah, we'd love for you to work longer term with us. We will extend your contract, like we can extend it a little bit, and I don't think it was necessarily like we're going to give you full time and you're going to have, you know, this kind of how some people might imagine a full-time job to be. I don't get the sense that that's what they had created, but still it was, we want you, we like your work, we want you to stay on longer term. And the person was like, oh my God, this is great, right? So manifestation come true, big yay, big celebration. But then the issue was she happened to have short-term housing set up because that's the contract she had been hired under initially. So she had housing that I believe is going to run out after the first of the month. So all of a sudden she's going, well, I manifested this great dream job, but then the unintended side effect is I don't have a place to live in a few weeks. So what do you do in those situations? And so I back up and I go, okay, well, if you can avoid it, you know, so this is a way to not repeat it in the future. What I like to do is, there's one of two ways I'd go about it. And the first is to say, hey, universe, I absolutely love the idea of this thing manifesting. It feels so good to me. You know, this dream job, let's say, I love the way that it feels. I love the company. I would love this to be my long-term dream job. Universe, make it so. I would add to that, or better, like give me this dream job or something better, universe. Because when we're manifesting, a lot of times the stuff that we want is nothing that we have experience with. And what we end up creating dreams from many times, for most of us, is we're relying on things we've already experienced, stuff that we've had that has come through our mind somehow, or that exists in sort of our realm of possibility. But so often the stuff that we're after exists in this, I'll say, time-space continuum we haven't actually stepped into. So it's stuff we wouldn't know to ask for. I can't tell you how many times I've thought, no, this is exactly what I want, when the universe was kind of maybe laughing at me behind the scenes going, she doesn't know that she can have so much better. Because I didn't. I just knew in my mind this seemed great, right? And so give me this. So I've learned, universe, give me this or better. The second thing I add to that is allow it to come in a good and balanced way that delights me. Because for me, that's just casting a wider manifesting net that takes care of more of those details that I might not be thinking of as I'm so focused on, I really want this dream job. It's like, oh my gosh, I would love this dream job. And then, you know, it comes, but let's say the company says, yeah, but we need you to move to, you know, someplace far, far away to do it. Cue the $1 million manifesting that I did, the $1 million job opportunity that I did a video for not too long ago. So that was one of those, okay, so what can we do here? Bring it in a way that delights me in a good and balanced way, universe, so I feel good about it in all senses. And that could have erased that kind of housing issue that was baked into the side effect that was unintended with her manifesting. Now, because we can't go back in time, right? We can only manifest from where we are. I would say, okay, well, so you manifested this great dream job, fantastic. Now let's take the next step and let's go ahead and just focus on the housing. So focus on manifesting housing that delights you in all ways, comes in a good and balanced way. It's the right price in the right location at the right time. It feels good in every respect and you're so elated, and then allow it to happen. So going along with that, I have a friend of mine who was looking for houses recently. She wanted to buy a house, and timing of that was important. The sooner the better. And it's an interesting market right now, so a lot of houses are kind of being sold before they even actually get advertised. And she happened to find a house that she really liked. And so she sent me a text the other day and she said, hey, please just send me some good manifesting vibes. I found this house. It's darling. I would love it. And, our agent is going to talk to the seller's agent before it even gets put on the market, fingers crossed kind of a thing. And I've been in situations like that before. And so I shared this advice with her, which was, absolutely 100%. I'm going to send you all kinds of good, manifesting vibes and send goodness your way. And I can feel the celebration that's going to happen. I said, but trust that it's this house or there might be something better. So you're seeing this and going, oh my gosh, this is phenomenal. I want it. I want it. I want it. If there's something better, allow the universe to bring that in. And this house could absolutely be the perfect one. And if it is, you're going to match up with it. Your vibration is going to match and this house is going to be yours. But if there's a house that's better, wouldn't you want the universe to bring that in? Absolutely. Okay, so that's where that or better comes into play. And then the other thing is releasing the expectations. So once we've decided that there's something we want to manifest, and we've gone through the exercise of feeling like it's ours, we've envisioned the details and kind of gotten, to the point that it all feels very real to us, like it's already happened. Take a deep breath and just release it. Go, yep, it's done. It's as good as done. And I think in that releasing, we actually put ourselves into a state of allowing. And maybe you've heard some different manifesting coaches talk about that. That is a state of being in grace and letting the universe work its magic without us having to micromanage it. Because what I think happens is when we feel like we have to harp on our manifestation every 15 minutes and revisit those details and, oh my gosh, I've got to, I have to be really ritualistic with this and I have to just keep going to it and I can't do anything else today. I just have to think about this thing I'm trying to manifest. It's like we have the stranglehold on the thing we want, and I think we end up squashing it. As opposed to if we just have the thought about what it is that we want and allow it to happen, we're holding it more gently and just trusting that it's going to come to be. It's like, release the doves and, our manifestations will come to us, will find us in that perfect way. So there's that element of trust. And when I look in my past, when I've been trying to manifest things, anytime that I've been getting too caught up in the details and going back, every time I meditate, I go back into that manifestation because I want it so badly. I'm actually operating out of fear. I'm not operating out of trust. And manifesting and allowing, that state of allowing is coming from a place of trust, where we really do believe and feel that the universe has our best interests at heart and that every good thing that we want will come to us, will appear in our lives. It's destined. It is certain because we're that powerful. So there's that difference there. And I will share, when I started to use, going back to the phrase, in a good and balanced way, for me, this came about at a time in my life when I was trying to manifest two different things, sort of separately, but yet at the same time. So I was trying to manifest a forever relationship that I wanted to come into fruition. I'd been single for a while, dating, but I decided I didn't want to just be dating, people who didn't have any potential. I really wanted my perfect for me partner, and I wanted somebody who wanted forever. I remember specifically using that word. I would be careful about that now, knowing what I know. And also the other thing I was trying to do was really dig into myself spiritually and unearth fears that had been holding me back from living and being able to manifest sort of life beyond my fondest dreams, not only romantically, but also in some other areas of my life. because we know that fears, and oftentimes it's unconscious fears, hold us back from getting what we're truly after. So I said, okay, universe, please move me through my fears quickly. And at the same time, I was saying I'd also like to manifest a forever partner. And, so like, let's do this thing. And the universe saw these two things and saw an opportunity, as it often does, to be really efficient. And it combined them. And I ended up meeting somebody who at first seemed great. And then very quickly, some flags started to pop up. But the flags, I wasn't paying attention to the flags until after the person moved into my home with me. And that was one of my fears too. So it was interesting because I was thinking I'd been single for a while, living by myself. Could I share space with somebody? Could I actually make room for somebody in my life and have true partnership? Or was I already kind of too set in my ways to be able to do that? So that was one of the fears I was looking to work my way through. So again, this person moves in. Suddenly all these flags are, being thrown on the field. I'm finally paying attention. And I realized I don't want this person in my life anymore. Like, this is not right. This doesn't feel good. There's major stuff wrong. This person was like, oh, you want forever? Oh, I want forever. Forever and ever and ever. But it was like when you realize that you've asked for forever, but you've asked for it and not been careful about how you've worded it, and the universe delivers somebody, and you're like, oh, I didn't mean you. Trying to get rid of that, trying to undo that manifestation brought me through a lot of really big fears. And another one of those was I had a fear around losing control over what I had created for myself. And so at that point in my life, I had created a little bit of wealth. I was feeling good about where I had been and where what I had achieved at that point in my life. And in particular, I'll just leave it at that. So when I realized, going back to this relationship, that it wasn't for me, and I said to this person, in the nicest way that I could, this doesn't feel right to me anymore, and I think that we should go our separate ways. This person dug their heels in, refused to leave my house. I had found a way legally that he didn't have to. So interesting laws that he was aware of in the state we were living in at the time that I was not aware of. And then to leave, he said, well, I'll leave, but you have to pay me thousands of dollars. And so he was extorting money from me, which was something that was brand new to me and something I never would have seen coming. And I was, every ounce of fear in me was just on overdrive, because again, it was like, I've got this person now who's turned kind of vicious, and they won't leave my space. And I keep my space in my life very peaceful, but here's this disruptor suddenly. And then the idea that I was going to lose thousands of dollars for like no reason. It was bizarre to me. And I had a friend, thank God, who said to me, Megan, I understand why you're afraid, but realize you created it once, you can create it again. Nobody can really take anything away from you, because you have that power of creation. And it was also like, well, is this worth a few $1,000s to get peace, to feel at ease again in your home and in your life? And I needed to hear that so that I could just take the deep breath, create space, and separate myself from the fear for a moment. And I realized she's right. I created it once, I can create it again. So that fear suddenly, went away, almost dissolved, I would say. And when that, at the same time, this person who had been digging their heels in and was refusing to leave and was just being so horrible, their energy changed, their mindset changed, and they ended up leaving of their own accord. And that was that. No money was paid. It was fine. Oh my God. And then I had friends come over and we smudged the hell out of my house. So that's, after that experience, I realized the universe is always listening, and the universe we can manifest whatever we're after. It helps now for me to throw in, allow it to happen in a good and balanced way, or a gentle way, and allow it to be in a way that delights me. because I know what that means, and I'm sure you can feel it too for yourself. So thank you so much for being here. Again, a thumbs up is great. I appreciate all of you who like the videos and those of you who have subscribed. It touches my heart, and I'm so glad you're here. And until next time, wishing you all happy manifesting.